Good morrow, welcome back to the madhouse. Okay, so got my ankles sorted, so I've got 2 joints in each now. So hopefully I can do a proper walk cycle with that. No, where was it? That's how I got that. I'll try not to get too distracted as well. A little bit serious for that. I'm gonna put right. Sweet. So I need to set the angles on the angles. So first thing I need to do is raise one of the legs. I'll go right leg, the left leg. Did I put it on? Oh, it's left leg, wasn't it? I put it on a timer, didn't I? Walk. Okay, leg up. So that's like that, right? Now, is that far enough? We'll leave it at that angle for now. We'll just see if that's far enough. It's not very far. Let's see. So what I need is the bottom set, isn't it? Bottom right. Needs to gently go over. So ankles. Bottom right. Got 45, let's see, knock that down to 20. 30. Try 30. That might be a bit much. And we'll give it 3. Yeah, 30 is too much. Bollocks. So we'll knock that down to 20. Right. Leg. Might have to put another gyro in, mate. Hopefully, anyway, with this, you'll see what you go through when you're trying to create a mech that walks. Because a lot of people get disheartened and discouraged because they can't get it sorted. It's just to show you that even if you know how to do it, it's not easy. You've just got to persevere until the angles are right. So that's all you're doing. You're just basically experimenting until it works. Now the ankle I put in a 3. Ankle. I'm gonna put the velocity at 2. Right. I'm gonna put all the things at 20. So they should all be 20. Right. So 30 was far too. Actually, I think 15 might be better, you know. Let's put them all at 15. So it looks like this is going to be little steps. Right. So walk. Left leg up. See, that balance is spot on. But as soon as you go out of... Oh, got some Z fighting going on, yeah. The part. Ooh. Interesting. So that's the new battery and the armor plating. We've got some alright. Okay. That probably shouldn't be happening. Anything else? So if you've got stuff like that, it's called Z fighting. So the seem to be over one another. So that the skin on this must be, or the skin on this must be sort of overlaid over the top of this. Because that shouldn't show through. Look at that. Might have to report that because it that stuff like that. It's tragic on memory. Because you've got them fighting each other to see who's going to be at front, me or you. So they're constantly fighting with each other. I mean, that used to happen with Halo when you made your own maps and you would merge blocks and you had that little bit of fighting going on. So what you had to do was just move it at just like a fraction off where it was, so it wouldn't fight anymore. Because that would causes lag as well. So yeah, champion, right? Probably report that. Remember when I got the video up. Okay, so where was I? Angles. Stop arsing about. Right, so it's right bottom angle, isn't it? Angle. And off it goes. Bump. Right, so 15. It's close, but not close enough. it's probably something to do with that. So what happens is that leg's gonna have to, the hip's gonna have to come in play. It's alright. We'll sort it, we'll sort it. So what I'll have to do is get everything in play on that walk. So what'll have to happen is the ankle bends, and then the hip raiser on the left leg needs to come down. And that should cut off the gyro, which is pulling it over. Because a gyro works when it's perfectly level to keep it from falling side to side, but as soon as you change that angle, the gyro's pulling it slightly forward. So everything needs to happen at the same time. And what I think I'll do, I'm going to put walk in front of this. Walk. So basically what I'm doing there, I'm putting it into groups. Oh, hang fire. Nearly lost one. Right. So if you remember, I named 10 gyros walk for the walk cycle. So rather than going up and down a whole list of stuff that you've got on your build, I've got walk in front of it. So I search walk and it just brings up what's got walk on. So you think about what you want to do. So say you're busy with you're building a right arm, okay? So if you put like just a word that you can search in front of everything on that right arm, and then you do your search, it'll just bring up that, so you don't have to deal with all the other joints that you've got, things like that, because you know how things get mixed up. It goes in alphabetical order as much as it can, but it depends on what you've named it. So your right elbow could be in the middle of right hip and right knee, and you've got to search through. So this is what I do. I just stick like names in front of them so I can group them. So I can work on everything to do with walk in that group there. And it saves us constantly searching. Right angle, bottom, there's that. So let's get this bugger back on its feet. So what has to happen is when that leg raises, that ankle has to push forward and that leg has to come back. So what I'm going to do is going to give it a second timer, because that's a second set of movements you've got going on there. So I'm going to call this walk 2. Walk 2. Right angle. Bend. Now I'm going to have a delay of 1 second, 2 seconds. Probably too much, but still. So your ankle, right angle, bottom, reverse, and then I need the hip raiser to come down, isn't it? Left hip raiser. So if I put raise, left hip raise, trigger now. So if I go leg 1, leg 2, now there's your balance. So I definitely need something to balance it. Oh, you feck. Must be some wolves. So we definitely need a bit of balance there, don't we? It's front heavy by the look of it. So plus we've got an angle that's incorrect there. So that's pushing over. So this ankle needs to bend as well. I could do with a longer stride as well. Right, so this is the problem we're going to have with a balance mech. It's going to fall out every time I do something. So I'm going to stick a pole up its bum. I'm going to stick it back on top of here. That means I get the movement right without it falling over every 2 seconds. Right. So what you've got there is that angle needs to be the same level as that one, and I think I need a bit more. See, when you've got no grip, you need that little bit of forward weight. So the weight's on the left leg. So hopefully, and I think might have to put the balance gyros on the plates of meat, your feet. Because they're the only things that are going to stay level with the ground and not be going back and forwards, up and down and shit like that. I'll have a think about that though. I'll think about it. Let's get some anglage done first. So that's pushed over, so this will be on that angle. So that angle needs to come down needs to go up. So left. So if I put walk. Left ankle bottom. So it's going to be left ankle top, isn't it? Because I'm going the opposite way. Yeah. So if I reverse that. Nah. That's not right at all, is it? Feck. I got them on the wrong way. I think I might have these on the wrong way, you know. Oh, have you bugger. I have. Yeah, I have. No, I haven't. Yes, I have. No, I haven't. No, I haven't. Left ankle bottom. That's better. No, because that needs to. No, that's not right. I don't think the ankle moves at all. Bottom. I think it's me. It's these angles I need to change to get that ankle aligned with that. So that knee needs to bend more. The hip needs to come out more. Right, thinking about this. It's hard to judge it when it's like this as well, because that's dead freaking straight. It should be like that. I wonder if I adjust it to 10. I'm going to adjust it to 10. I think I might be a bit OTT with my angles here. Bear with us. That looks level-ish. Because what you're trying to do is get a completely flat surface there. And that looks level-ish. So all these angles have got to match, taking into consideration all this stuff. It's there's equations, mathematical equations that can work all this out. What's it? It uses Pythagoras and that. It's I think it's inverse chromatics. I think that's what it's called. Inverse chromatics. Spelled with a K. It's chromatics or kinetics. It's one of them anyway, but it's an equation some brain box come up with that works out angles of joints, and they use it for creating mechs and robots and that. So all them robots in factories and that. Some bloke or some dude or some wife has worked out using an equation all the angles where the arm needs to be. There's computer programs as well, I believe, that do it. So you put in the length of your joint, the length of your leg. So that you put that length in. You put the length between there and there, and then there and there, and then you would see what angle it needs to gun at, and then you would see what angle it needs to be when it's finished. You press a button and it tells you exactly what speed it needs to go to and what angle every single joint in every stage has to go, and then that goes into the chip that's controlling the joint, and it tells the joint, right, if you move from here to here, this rotor or hinge or whatever it is that's controlling it has to go from this angle to that angle at that speed, and this one has to go from that angle to this angle at that speed, and it does it exactly for you. And I'm trying to do it by eye with a bloody absolutely stupid but I'm not a mathematician. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna gimp that off. I'm gonna copy that, stick it down there, because I should have done this in the first place. I should have two. There, that's balanced better. See that's balanced well. And I would say that I've still got too much angle. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna it's walking. So you guys who did well at school and good at maths and stuff like that, this should be a doddle for you. Just using a bit of Pythagoras. Let's pull this over. 7, 6. See now 6. That seems to be more stable. I haven't got that little jump on there. So 6 seems to be the good one. But look at the length of that straight. It's fucking hell. That's no, is it? It's gotta take forever to get from there to there. Never mind. It's a start. We can work the angles as we go. See, we've got no bounce on that one, but this is still a lot of force on this front toe, because you can see this back toe is raised, and you've got a little bit of wobble there. So that's forces that you don't need. That one's not too bad, just got a bit shake, but that's because of all the joints. You get that. I've got hinges close together and things like that, so you get that shake, which is a little bit of clang. You can't do anything about that except make the leg even fucking longer. But we've got a little bit of wobble here, and I want rid of that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna mess around with this angle until that's sorted. So remember, what you do with one, you've got to do with them all. See, 8's good. 8's good. Because you've got a bit of wobble on that one. And no wobble on that one. So I think 7 to get in between. That means you get a minimal. That should be a minimal. Can't even speak now, man. A minimal amount of wobble on both. So what you're looking for is to try and get the same force on both legs. If you've got the same force on both, that means your balance is there. So we've got a bit of wobble there. And you've got about the same bit of wobble there. So I think 7's balanced. So obviously what you've got to think of, it's not going to be standing like that forever. That'll step and then it'll go straight into the next step. So that little bit of wobble shouldn't bother it too much. The thing you've got to watch for is if that wobble is increased exponentially by constantly moving forward. So if you've got a it's hard to explain, but obviously if you've got some out of balance stuff when you're drunk and you're doing that falling forward constantly, and then obviously you're running faster and faster to stop yourself from falling over, it's sort of that. The wobble might increase as it's going forward because everything's trying to catch up. That's what I'm worried about. But anyway, bollocks with that. This is just how I think. Right, so that's your first walk done. We've got 2 blocks. We've got that to there. So that's a step. Now comes the hard part, because I've got no landing gear to give this grip. So all the weight has to transfer onto this leg while all this swings forward to there. So I'm hoping that when this knee straightens, because that's all I need to do is straighten the hip and the knee and then bend the ankle at the same time. Oh, holy moly, this is going to be fun. It's not a very impressive step, is it? Never mind. Right, let's see. So what I want to do is I want to glue this bugger back onto this pole. Which probably won't happen because... What did it work? Glue that back onto the pole. Change the angles on this one. And then program in my next step. So I had them all set at 7, didn't I? Oh shit. 7. Right. Right, so that's my first step in. So what I'll do, I'll stop the stream there. 35 minutes. And then I'll come back on I want to try and keep these short because I know people doing like sitting around watching these things forever and ever. But hopefully little tutorials. But I'm sorry guys, I waffle like a git. I'm very waffly. What I should have done was got the thing walking, stuck it down and then took it through each step instead of trying to build. But when I'm building I get distracted and all sorts. It takes us ages to get down to it. Looking on waffling again. Right, I'm end the stream. Get to the next step where we'll get the next step in. The next step's the next step, and then we'll see if we can get them merged together so it does 2 steps. I want to try and keep it at 2 steps so I can get my stops sorted as well. And I want to put a side step in using the hip, you know, the hip spread. I reckon I can do a side step, which would be quite funky. But let's sort this out anyway.